common challenges of people starting to work with project management. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management expert. I help people and companies to develop their project management skills. How do I do that? In practice, that can vary a lot depending from case to case. In general, what I do, I provide training to make sure that they have a solid knowledge foundation there. I provide one-on-one mentoring. Like in a case, I have a mentee that's moving from a PSO project support officer position for a junior project manager position. So I help her to guide her how in the activities of being a project manager, how to guide and direct the project to make sure that project is successful. So in general, I work as a kind of bridge to make sure that people and companies they can speed it up their project management skills there. Before I forget, this content here is part of the warm-up of the Project Management Summit. The Project Management Summit, it's a free event I'm going to make. There I'm going to help you to develop your project management skills. So in this period, we are going to have 3 sessions there where I'm going to show you how you can step up your skills and how you can continue to develop yourself in your career there. The only thing that you need to do it, you need to click in the link below here the video and subscribe. Again, everything is free, and for people that participate in everything in all the project management summit, they are going to also to get a free certificate there. So don't miss it. And of course, like and share this video here so we can reach more people and more people can learn project management. But if you do that also, you're going to make me happy because you are helping me to grow my channel and to develop here and to reach more people to help them out. So what we are going to discuss here is common challenges for people starting work with project management. And that's of course, there's all types of different challenges. I'm going to focus on few that in my experience, I see people struggling a lot. First of one is the lack of confidence there. What do I mean by lack of confidence? Working with different project managers, I see, and of course, let me step back first. Let me first start briefly tell you how I started my career. Well, I started my career as a planning and controlling engineer in a company for engineering, procurement, and construction projects there. So I remember very clearly in the first weeks of work, I was not sure what should I do. I was not sure, okay, what I'm going to do today. And I was had no idea what would be my priorities, what exactly I should do it. Then I remember struggling, thinking about, am I doing the right things? So I was not confident. So I was lacking some confidence in what things I should do, and then I was lacking confidence if whatever I was doing, if they were the right things to do it. And why I took this step back? Because I see, of course, a lot of people they have the same challenge. If they're starting their career, they lack this confidence there to understand how to progress with this project and how you can see very often this lack of confidence. You can see this in team meetings, how they're handling team meetings. You can see that in meetings with the customer because sometimes they are talking, they are not sure. You can see that they are not fully in control of the situation, or you can feel even in their voice the lack of confidence in what they're doing there. Or you also can see like in meetings, like in kind of review board. What's a review board? Some companies they have once a month a review with their projects with high level stakeholders, maybe directors and managers, to see how their projects are going and to understand if they need extra support to be delivered successfully there. And you can see when they are talking that they are lacking confidence in what they are doing there. The challenge is, of course, if you hear someone telling you and they are lacking the confidence in what they are doing, that also does not give you the trust that the project is being handled properly, which generally triggers more questions, and those questions usually kind of undermine or even challenge a bit more the confidence of those people starting. And I've already mentioned this is normal. So first of all, if you are going through that, I can tell you this is normal. And I had the same thing in the beginning of my career, and I talk with a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of junior project managers that I helped, a lot of junior project managers in the different companies I've worked with. And All them in the beginning they lack this confidence because you are not sure. That's a natural part of the process. It's like if you have never driven before. It's the first time you are entering a car, you are learning how to drive. Of course you are not going to have the confidence to drive. But after you do that, you repeat that and you train that few times, and after a few years of driving, you enter in your car, you are not even thinking, saying, "Oh, I'm not sure how to drive." Or it's the same thing when you are trying to learn how to ride a bike. In the beginning, of course, you don't have the confidence. More you do it, more the confidence will come up. So the first thing that you need to know, this is normal, and that's part of that's the same challenge that everybody faced. But how do you overcome this challenge there? Here comes the trick. Because usually the lack of confidence starts to paralyze people in what they do. And in a lot of different organizations, I've worked like as a senior project manager or as a program manager, and I had junior people reporting to me in my projects. And what I see invariably when they start to lack this confidence and they don't know what to do, they start to get paralyzed because they start to be afraid of they let fear paralyze them. But that's the worst thing that you can do in a situation like that, because less you're going to do it, more you're going to doubt yourself, and more other people are going to doubt the work that you're doing there. So how you overcome that? With action. And I know that might seem okay, but if I'm not sure what to do it, what should I do then? Well, think, look for your project, say, what would be the best thing to do in this case, in a situation like that? And take the next step. And I know that some people are saying, yeah, but what if I make a mistake? Let me tell you a secret. That should not be a secret for you or for anybody. Everybody makes mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. And everybody else in the world, they make mistakes. What's the difference between making a mistake? So everybody get this in your mind. Making a mistake, it's something common. Okay, nobody likes it. I also don't like it. When I see that I miss something, I also don't like it. But I try to learn with that and try to go for the next step. But you cannot be paralyzed being afraid of making a mistake. Because what happened, by definition, if you don't do anything, by definition, this is already a mistake. So if you don't do anything, you're wrong already. If you try something, you have a chance to get it right. And most of the cases, if something goes wrong, it's much easier to explain that you took action that and you something did not work as you expected or as you thought that would work out than saying that I did not do anything. I did not take any action. So don't be afraid there. Don't let this fear or this lack of confidence paralyze you, because that will damage your image as a project management, and things will start to go wrong, and more things will go wrong, more you're going to doubt yourself, more afraid you're going to be, less confidence that you're going to have. The only way to overcome this I'm afraid of doing something. The only way to overcome this is taking actions there. Understand what should you do next, and if you are running a project, if you have team meetings, you can ask your team. You don't need to say what should I do next, but you can ask your team, what do you think should be our next step here in this situation? Because in a lot of situations, depending on a lot of situations, there's a lot of unclarity. Not only for you as a project manager, but also for all your team members, or project manager, or project coordinator, as a part of a team. There's a lot of unclarity for everybody, even for the senior members, for the managers, for CEO or whoever. But you think about, okay, what should we do next? And you discuss with your team. Okay, what should we do next? What makes sense? And you go and you take the next step. Because this next step hopefully you give you a bit more clarity in what you're going to do next. And you start to enter a virtuous process there that you keep moving. You're going to do stuff, you're going to make mistakes in the way, but you're going to continue to learn. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to find out, okay, this not work, so let's try something else. Or you're going to say, okay, this is right. And what should be the foundation to help you in the process of deciding what to do? Look to your project, look for your scope of work. That's why it's very important to have this overview of your project. And by overview, I mean that you don't need to understand all the technical details that needs to be executed. You don't need to understand everything that needs to happen. But you need to understand the goal, where you want to go, where you want to be, what the project needs to achieve. If you understand this goal, you should have a plan. Again, all projects should have a plan, regardless if you are working with waterfall, agile, scrum, or kanban. The difference might be the level of the plan that you're going to have, but you have a plan with a direction where you want to go. You always have a goal that you want to achieve. Any type of project should have a goal. Otherwise, you are going to be in trouble anyway. So you have this goal, you have this plan, and you think about, okay, I have this goal to achieve that. This is my plan. So what is the next thing I need to do in my plan to go forward? And then you are going to go and execute this action. And that can be, I'm going to example here to make this very concrete. Oh, I need to put this product in production there. Okay, so you need a bill of material, what's called a BOM. Because if you're creating something new, there's nothing in the system yet. So then you're going to ask, okay, how do I set up a bill of material? Who is responsible for that? And you start to chase those questions, and you start to find out what needs to be done. But if you stay there, keep waiting, I'm afraid I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, then you are in trouble. So look for the action that you need to take there. Consider what's your project goal, what's your plan. You can take a look, okay, what's the scope that you need to do it. You can talk with your team members, you can look into the business case, and take an action there. You should never sit there and don't do anything because you're afraid of that. Because first of all, more you avoid the risk, worse the things we're going to get, because you're going to be more afraid to act. You're going to be even doubting yourself even more. And worst case, people around will start to doubt, okay, what this person is doing here? This person is not able to handle the project. And that's what you don't want. Because I've seen situations like, mainly if you're working with big projects, I've seen people saying, oh, but this, like I've worked with projects from different size of budgets and different size of business case. I've worked in projects up to, I don't know, 5 million business case to up to 300 million business case dollars. And I've seen people like working at 50 million business with 50 million project business case, and they were like, it's too much money, it's too much responsibility. And they start to overthink this in their mind. It's too much money. But if I make a mistake here, it will cost thousands of dollars. Yes. The short answer for that, yes. If you are working a big project, depending on the type of mistake you are going to do, it will cost thousands of dollars for a company. But what you need to keep in mind that thousands of dollars in a million of dollar projects, it's not the same that thousands of dollars in your personal budget there. If you say $30,000 in your personal budget, that might be a big loss, of course. In a project of $50 million, $30,000, it's nothing. It's something that's very easily you can find a way to recover it. So don't be afraid. Take the action. Move to the next step. The next point, and of course I'm going to make it's directly connected with this one, is a good project. And I see people starting with projects and then because all the situation I just mentioned, they are sitting and waiting. They are waiting for instructions. someone to tell them what to do. They are waiting for a manager. They were waiting for a leader. They are waiting for the senior project manager, for the program manager. Don't do that. And I've seen in more extreme cases, even of people being fired because of that. Because I'm not sure if the it was a completely fair situation, but in a case there was a small project that had to be finalized, so the department manager there, he put a junior person to take care of that, and this person would try to do the activities, and he would of course find roadblocks there. Oh, that's something is not working. Then what he would do, he would send an email to the manager. What he did, he sent an email to the manager, and then he seated and waited. Not one day. He waited, I think, for a couple of months. And in between, he did not do anything. What happened is, of course, the project went out, if you want to put it that way. Things went go wrong. They did go wrong. And then the manager figured, oh, the customer is complaining. There's a lot of shit. And he goes and talk with the guy. Hey, what's happening there? What's going on there? And then say, ah, yeah, I sent an email to you, I don't know, a couple of months ago. You did not reply, so I'm waiting your feedback there. And of course, if you look for the leadership, yeah, and that's a kind of was my argument with the manager at the time. Yeah, he was a junior, maybe he not had the guidance that he needed, and blah 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 blah. And the feedback from my manager, from the manager was, I do agree with this. I do have responsibility, blah blah blah. But he should never seated and not said anything like that. Because he was like, I've done my part. Now I'm waiting here feedback. And he was like, he never come. We are here every day. He never come and talk with me. And I know that I'm busy, blah blah blah. That there's a, of course, different type of discussion about the leadership that we can have here, but that's not the purpose here. But that's an extreme situation that this person ended up being fired. And of course, he was really upset, saying that's not fair, blah blah blah. Long story short, and but I've seen that happening more often, even also with more senior people. You should not, as a project manager, keep that in mind. You should be in the driver's seat of your project. Meaning that, and I fully understand that sometimes, say, I need a decision from a manager, for a director, or for a CEO. Chase this decision. That's your position. And I've done that a lot of times, and sometimes I annoyed some managers or annoyed some directors. Say, I need a definition here. I need a definition here. I need a definition here. Of course, getting the same questions, sometimes people, of course, they can annoy. But in the end, all of them, they like it and they appreciate that. Why? Because every time that I do that, they were sure that whatever it's needed was not running because of, and it was very clear for them that was a pressing decision. So they knew that, okay, if it does not happen, I know the impact. But then they were said, okay, that's my responsibility. Of course, that would not stop me to keep asking, to keep pushing for that because I want my project to succeed. And I've seen a case this week here that there a junior project manager in a situation handling a project. He's in a design phase. The design phase, it's the initial plan for the design was 6 months. After 4 months, they come up with a plan saying we need 4 more months. After 4 more months, they come up with a plan and say we need 3 more months. So they are designing this product, which should have been 6 months, for almost 1 year now. And they finally, okay, they agreed 1 year delay. So instead of 6 months, 1 year. So they agreed, okay, company agreed, manager's approval, go for the higher level of approval, and so okay, we set a new baseline. And he got the approval for the new baseline on a Thursday. And on a Monday, someone come back, okay, by the way, the design is another 2 weeks late. And I was, I am, And then the project manager, what he did there, the junior project manager, he sent an email around that to the manager, that the manager was just coming back from a holiday, so with a pile of mail, so probably have missed this one, I don't know. And then we go for a team meeting, and then the manager asks, "Hey, by the way, your project, how is it going?" Then he said, "Ah, I sent you an email. We are 2 weeks delayed." And he's like, and then the discussion went south. Why? Because it's like this discussion was on Thursday. Say you have this information on Monday for a project that's already delayed for 1 year that we had to do all the types of explanation for higher management for that one. And you are not even capable of trying to reach out, say, we have a problem, we need to talk. And they say, but I send you by mail, I'm waiting for your reaction. Come on, if something critical, don't sit and wait. A good project manager is always proactive. Go there, send a message. Hey, dear manager, I need your support. The project is going to be impacted here. I need it. Of course, fair, send by email, but send a message on Teams. Schedule a meeting, say, I need your help here. That's something that's urgent here, that we have a problem here. Don't be the type of person that is just going to, because what does it show in a situation like that? Well, I send by email, so I've done my part, so I'm washing my hands here, so nothing else I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit and wait. This is the worst thing that you can do it. If you go push managers, if you go around it, trying to push people to get something done, people might not like it, but they're going to say, okay, this is a person that's trying, that's putting the effort for doing something. Sitting and wait, it's like, why do you need a project manager if the project manager is going to sit and wait? You don't need it. Let things run and see how it ends. You as a project manager, you need to be in the driver's seat of your own project there. This is quite important. This is quite relevant there. And I understand that's why I just mentioned that just about that because, oh, I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. But the worst thing that you can do is sit and wait. Don't do that. If you do that, you're not going to succeed. Your project is going to fail. People will look, oh, this person does not know how to handle a project. It's not a capable project manager there. And then, of course, you're not going to be able to progress into your career. You're not going to be able to take more responsibility, more projects, different types of projects. Maybe you're going to be impacted in annual reviews. You're going to get bad feedback. You might not get a raise. You might lose a bonus. I don't know. Companies have different ways to do that. And of course, in very bad cases, as I mentioned there, you might even get fired for that, depending where you are located, in which country, of course. So don't do that. A good project manager is always proactive there. The being proactive is taking the action, not sitting in wait. That's going to also help you to overcome your fears. That's going to help you to gain confidence. But you need to act. You cannot wait. You cannot say, I'm going to wait. I don't know what to do next. Those are very critical, and I've seen that with a lot of project managers, and they simply failing because they are too afraid and they don't do anything. Then by default, that's already a mistake. And the second one because they are waiting someone else to do something. And the worse, even worse than waiting for someone else to doing something, they're not even following up. Hey, I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this. I need you to get done this. I need this decision. I need your help. That's the bare minimum that's expected from you as a project manager. And if you cannot do that, you say, but I don't want to follow up. Then you should not be a project manager. If you're afraid that you're going to bother people, if you're afraid that people might get annoyed with you, that people might not like you, you cannot be a project manager. Because you should be able to drive the project there. And if you're saying, but if I ask these people, this person might get upset. Of course, you need In all your interactions, you need to be respectful, but you always need to ask. Go write it down there. Your job is to ask the questions, including the difficult ones. And don't sit and wait for the answers. Ask the question again. Because I've seen, for example, other project manager that I'm mentoring her, and we talk about the project, and I tell, oh, this is what needs to happen, right? We discuss it and say that's the next action that you need to take, and then she take the action, and she stops. Okay, you follow up with someone. Do you get an answer? No. So your action is not done. Your action is only done when you close the loop. Say, I need the material, blah blah blah, to be shipped from this place to this place, and you get an answer. I'm going to check. So ask again. Okay, is the material shipped? When they confirm the material is shipped, this part of the action is closed. So the next one is confirm, is the material received there? Those are very basic things. But why? Because then people, they are afraid, they don't know what to do with, and they they are not proactive in the actions that they are taking there. So very important here, be proactive. Never sit and wait. That's the worst thing that you can do in your project. And the third thing that I've already mentioned in this discussion that I see people starting with project management, they struggle a lot, is because they do not have an understanding about the project, what needs to happen in a project. And I'm by telling that, I'm going to tell you that's not only people starting with project management. I had a case, I think last week or a couple of weeks ago, of someone that's more close, that has, I don't know, 16 years work experience in the industry, has been working with project, at least in the company as a project manager for almost 2 years. And then same case, what they need, because in this case I'm dealing with new product development, so we design and create new products to be so the company can sell it. If you are, and this is go for mass production, if the company is selling that, we are going to, at some point you release for manufacturing. Manufacturing is going to produce these millions of parts, or depending on what you are doing, even billions of parts to be sold there. And this person will say, I need to release something there. And the person simply forgot that she needs a bill of material. Although there's a procedure saying you need to set up a bill of material, this person did not do that. And at some point, the person say, okay, I need to set up a bill of material. And the person did not know how to do it. Where do I get the information? And for some reason, they come to ask me, where do I get the information? Because someone told her that, I know how to set up a bill of material. And I say, okay, this is the template. You need to get the information. Then the person say, where do I get the information? I say, from what you're doing there, you get your information in the system. Which kind of process that you're using, what materials that you're using, you can get everything there because in this case, she was not releasing something that's completely new. She was releasing something that's a variation. So if you're releasing something that's a variation, what you're going to do? You have an original bill of material. You're going to change some items that you're going to derivate some items that you needed to make this derivative or this optional there to sell it. So check the original one that you need to do it. And they say, I don't know, where do I check it? Almost 2 years in the company, and the person does not understand what's a bill of material and why this is important. And here I'm not talking about someone that just started their career. That's a junior person. I'm talking about someone with almost 16 years of experience. That say, or at least saying that I have that at least what she was saying in her profile. Almost 16 years of experience handling projects in the industry. And for God's sake, you don't understand that you need to set up a bill of material. Then I wonder what kind of experience that you have there. But anyway, that's a different type of discussion. Why I'm bringing up this example again? because you need to have an overview about the project. And in this case, the overview can be very simple. Say, okay, we are developing a new product. So what we do? We design the product, we produce samples for the product, we qualify and we validate it to make sure that the samples have the quality, that the equipment is working as we expected, and then we release to mass production. That's the flow, very simple, that part of your overview. What do you need to have for design? I need a specification, I need a design team to work on that one. Check. What do I need for samples? Well, I need my suppliers to deliver everything that I want, then I can assemble the samples and I can send for the test. Okay, do I have everything from the suppliers? Yes. Go for ahead. Do I have everything to assemble? Go ahead. Next one, do I have everything that I need to test and qualify it? Yes, go ahead. I'm getting close. Everything is validated and quantified. I'm getting closer to release this for mass production. What's the production team they need? Well, they need to have details in what they need to produce. What are the details that they need to produce? It's a basically bill of material. Okay, then I need to set up a bill of material. How to set up a bill of material in this company? And then you start to follow up the actions, the logical actions that you needed. Of course, if you are working a company that's a bit more mature, they are going to have a procedure, they might have checklists, they might have guidance, they might have a body. But in general, that's the flow that you are going to have for any type of product that you are going developing. And I'm talking about this is the flow for any type of product you're going to develop. And I have been working in the semiconductor industry, but I have worked before in the automotive industry, product development there. I have worked with the supply chain and with the automotive industry, also with supply chain development. And in the flow for the new product, it's always the same: design, check and qualify, release for production. Oh, what do I need to release for production? Then you have, depending on what you're doing, you have a list of. But if you're releasing something for production, you always need to align with the plant that they understand what they need to produce. That's a very basic thing. And why? That's about the overview, about the understanding the flow of work that you need to do there. Because if you do not know it, then you go for the situation number one. You don't know what to do. Then you are afraid to do anything. Then last things you are going to do it. Then you are going to sit and wait someone what's going to tell you what to do it. You need to find, okay, if you understand the overview, you go and start to ask questions. Hey, I need a bill of material. How do I need to set up? You need to talk with this person here. Hey, dear person, how I need to set up a bill of material? Oh, you need to complete the information in this template here. Okay, I have a template here. What do I need to add in this template here? And then, of course, part of having this overview is not just going to ask other people what to do. Think about yourself. Okay, I need this information. Where possibly I'm going to find this information? What I'm going to do in my project? Okay, my project should be clear what type of product that I need to do. I can talk with the engineering team, understand the details what I need to do there. But it's not feasible that you do not understand the basics that you need to do it. Because if you don't have this overview, you're going to have a lot of challenges. And that's why a lot of people underestimate project management because they think, oh, I need to do scope management, cost management, time management. And then say, okay, managing the scope. Well, in reality, nobody's going to tell you what's the scope of the project. You need to go and study the scope of the project. And you need to talk with people to understand how to execute the scope of the project. That's how you're going to work with your team. Because if you don't do that, you don't come up with timelines. I've seen people coming up with timelines without even understanding the scope of the project. Say, this can be done here. This needs, okay, what you're going to do in this time. And then the people, you come up with a timeline that you don't know what you need to do it. How you can estimate a time if you don't know what to do it? Let me give you a very simple example. If I come in to you and ask you, I want you to arrange and organize a holiday trip for me and for my family. And you say, I got it. I'm going to organize everything and get back to you. My very simple reaction is, how you are going to organize everything and get back to me if you do not know to where I want to go, if you don't have any idea about my budget, if you don't know how many people are going to travel there, how you are going to organize those things if you don't know those basics? And that's exactly the same thing that you are trying to plan a project without having an understanding of the scope of the project. So focus your time in understanding the scope of the project. Talk with your team. And here again, you don't need to be a technical expert there. I'm going to give you a very simple example. What I do often in companies when I'm moving for something that I don't know, I get someone with that has a technical knowledge. Say, hey, I do not. I want to learn more about a product. Can you teach me? I'm not. I'm not going to be a designer. I'm not going to be a specialist, but I want to understand the basics, how these things work. What are the key parameters that you need to be aware of, or key things that can might influence the product a lot? And you go and ask those things. And in some organizations, like general people like it. I had, for example, a lead designer, and I told him, hey, I want to help you. I want to take out stuff from your plate because I see that people push into you a lot of stuff that should be done for a project manager. Should be a project manager responsibility. So I'm new. I'm getting to the company there, but the only way I can handle those responsibilities in a proper way is if I have a basic understanding about the product. So if you help me to get this basic understanding about the product, I can take stuff from your plate. And in general, he just loved it because he felt, oh, I have a lot of pressure here. People keep asking me. Should not be me doing that. And when I start to learn the basics, I start to take those things from his plate and I start to say, okay, focus in what you need to do. You are the lead designer there. Focus in the design. And other stuff that I had to follow up, I had to chase, I would do it. And he was like, he kind of felt relieved because he said, okay, now we are working as a team. And I don't need to take care to think about everything to make sure that it's done. There's also another person in the team thinking how you can succeed with this project. But why? Because I was able to have this overview on what needs to happen. And of course, depending what you are going to do, you are going to fill up details, you are going to fill up procedures of the company, depending on the industry. For example, automotive. You have to follow the automotive standard for developing a product. That's the APQP in general. If you want to learn it, just Google that. But those are the things that you can fill up without needing help. As long as you're being proactive and you're taking the actions, you're going to try it. You can ask ChatGPT, say, hey, dear ChatGPT, I'm developing a new semiconductor, I'm developing a new sensor, I'm developing a new shoe, I developed a new iPhone, I'm going to build a house. What should I learn about that? Ask it. And I'm not saying that ChatGPT will give you everything perfect. A lot of times you ask questions, you get crap as an answer. But in a lot of times, it gives you new insights in how to also to proceed. So use that. There's a tool that will help you there. So just to wrap up then, there are three common mistakes or three common challenges that you see with people starting to work with project management. First one is the lack of confidence or being afraid of taking a decision. So what's the antidote for that one? Taking action. The second one, people just don't take the responsibility and they do something at some point. Like at some point, they send an email saying, I'm done here, I'm going to sit and wait. So sitting and wait is always the worst option that you can choose. So how to avoid that? Make sure that you are proactive there. Be proactive there. A good project manager is always proactive there. And number three, people try to run a project without having this overview in how the project should be executed. What's the basic that you need to do then is to create this overview. That's of course why, as part of like my project management development program, I even given people like a checklist of questions. Say, go and check all those things there. Why? Because that will help you to build the overview to execute a project. But whatever you're going to do, if you do not have this high level view, again, you don't need to be the technical expert, you're going to struggle there. Again, don't forget this content is part of the warm up for the Project Management Summit. Project Management Summit is a free event that I'm going to make to help you to develop your project management skills. Everything is free. Only need to click in the link there and subscribe. If you have more questions, feel free to ask here in the comments of this video, or you can go to my Instagram where I have a Q&A box that's open every day. You can ask as many questions as you want as a project manager for project management related questions, of course. And of course, don't forget again to like and share this video here so it can reach more people and more people can learn project management. And also, that straight our relationship because I'm going to be very happy to see that you are supporting me also that in this journey. And in the end, if your goal is to develop your project management skills, my goal is to support you. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.